in some other props for us, some Christmas presents. I mean, you've got there Deontay Wilder's WBC belt, sort of identical replica of. So this is to.
It's the same. They just made two of them. It's the same. So it's the same belt.
Right. Okay.
They just made two of them.
Why do they make two? Why do they? I thought it was only just
they
one.
They know I should rightfully be WBC.
Right. Okay. Okay. So. But this is the thing, isn't it? That you are the mandatory challenger. But where are we at in terms of a world title fight being lined up, Dillian?
Deontay Wilder's still being a coward and still running as usual. You know, I've been #1 challenger for 800 days. You know, and I'm still #1 challenger. And right, so I fought more top 15 and top 10 opponent than he done as a champion. You know, obviously, TstreeT is a good champion. He's got punch power, as we just see there. But you know, Luis Ortiz is 1,000,000 years old. You know.
Well, look, he's. We can see what he can do, but let's bring in Richard now then. And Richard, you've been mad.
Dillian Whyte, WBC interim champion, and yes, that does basically mean that you are the champion. And in this case, there shouldn't be an interim championship, and he should have got his shot against Deontay Wilder. And no way should Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury be fighting twice in 2020. Like, that doesn't, without Deontay Wilder having a mandatory. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. We cover every single major fight live. So Dillian Whyte and Richard Riakporhe did some media earlier this week. Right now it's January the 11th, 2019. I don't have the time up on the screen, but it's 7:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And basically, he's frustrated. But nonetheless, does he not have the best resume among active fighters at heavyweight right now? Him, Anthony Joshua, right now. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. We're going to take a little bit of a jump cut, and then we're going to go to some other clips because he was talking the same thing on Sky Sports that morning. We'll be right back.
Get stuck into some of these questions. Harry says, Dillian, what's the next most realistic fight for yourself?
Probably Povetkin, Ruiz, or Otto, Wallin. Those are the three guys on my hit list. I would love to fight one of the champions, but they're tied up and there's a lot of politics and stuff going on. But realistically, Povetkin, former Olympic gold medalist, former world champion, only lost to Joshua, and then Klitschko, Otto Wallin. Put up a good effort against Tyson Fury, the linear heavyweight champion of the world. And Andy Ruiz just beat Anthony Joshua and just lost Anthony Joshua. So any one of them that won a fight, I'm up for it.
Barry, who would you like to see him in with?
You'd like to see him fight for the title, no, to be fair, but that's not going to happen. You know that. It's going to be a while yet. But I think the Povetkin fight's a good fight. I think stylistically it's a good fight to watch, and also he's being a champion as well. So again, you just gain a bit more experience. Yeah. Without being too stupid about it, you almost, when you beat a fight, you almost take something from him.
I agree.
And it becomes your own, doesn't it?
I agree. I had 7 amateur fights. I beat all these guys that's had 100.
I like that fight. That's a fight where somebody's going to get knocked out. Povetkin is a straight come forward guy. Had that draw against Michael Hunter, and going back, I remember I think I had Michael Hunter winning barely that fight. Povetkin is on the is aging. Right now 40 years old. But still always dangerous. 35-2-1 with 24 KOs. I'm guessing that likely this would be its own card, of course, because both fighters command a lot of money. Andy Ruiz, you can count him out. He's going back over to the PBC, and he's getting back on the PBC rebuilding program. That's how they do. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder in 2020, no matter if Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury or not. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Ruiz next fight is against Dominic Breazeale. I would not be surprised, especially since it's being said that Dominic Breazeale is not going to fight Adam Kownacki. And I don't expect Andy Ruiz and Adam Kownacki to fight no time in 2020 or 2021. That's just, understanding the politics and the way Al Heyman works with his fighters, I just don't see it. And more importantly, I don't see Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz. I'd be shocked, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. Here's the thing. the WBC has been on the backslide with that fucking WBC interim shit with this Dion. Okay, here's the thing. Why, like, how could they allow or sanction Deontay Wilder to fight Tyson Fury twice, winner or loss, to be able to get a chance to get his belt back if he loses February the 22nd, 2020? That press conference is on this Monday coming up, by the way. If he loses, how can they not say, okay, well, whoever the winner is got to fight the mandatory, putting more stake on the fight, on the rematch, Wilder Fury 2? It doesn't make sense. And it doesn't help, yes, that Dillian Whyte failed that drug test for whatever reason. You know, I'm done. I'm over it. He's been cleared. He's fighting. I'm done. I'm over it. I don't harp on that shit. That is crazy, though, that if him and Povetkin were to fight, that both of them would have failed drug tests en route to Deontay Wilder fights. Povetkin failing his the week of the fight, right? A week before he got into the ring. So looking at the rankings, Deontay Wilder, the WBC, Dillian Whyte, the mandatory, I got to put, Mando, but I got to put interim right here. You know, fuck it. No, he's ranked number 1. So in the rankings, these are the official WBC, WBO, WBA, IBF rankings. I update them monthly according to the sanctioning bodies. I still got a little tinkering to do, like with the IBF and the WBO, if they haven't released theirs yet. But nonetheless, these are it. The top 15. And I color code the shit so you can kind of see. I try to do my best. Don't get me started with the WBA. But if you want to see them, they're right down below in the description box to know where these guys rank. So Anthony Joshua, of course, WBA, IBF, and WBO. Highly suspected to drop his WBO title in his next fight being with Kubrat Pulev. But there's some, how is that going to work? Like with ESPN, Kubrat Pulev has been heavily built up by ESPN over here because the shit had the purse bid. You know, things might get a little nasty with that situation as Top Rank signed Pulev in efforts to try to bring Joshua to ESPN. They're going to try to throw the boatload at that fight, yo. You know, so you got that's something to pay attention to right there. Usyk is heavily rumored to be fighting Derek Chisora, but will it be for the WBO or not? Because it's saying that number 2, Joseph Parker, wants it, as he should. The way it's supposed to work is, let's say, for example, if Joshua was to drop his belt, then you should get Usyk versus Joseph Parker. And then if Joseph Parker turns down, Usyk versus Kwinowski. If Kwinowski turns down, then down the line. And then, as you can see, Derek Chisora is number 9. All these fighters would have a right to be mad unless it says at WBO's discretion in the rule books or some shit, then it's supposed to go down the line. Or they can just order Usyk to be the champion. But if that was the case, then you can say they should be able to do that for Gilberto Ramirez, even though Usyk was undisputed in the division before and he's super champion, and Ramirez had moved up from 168. Anyway, that's going a little too deep down the trough. All right? Let's get our face to the surface. So, let's go on to the next clip. Where was the next clip? Where's my next clip? 9:30. We'll be right back.
You brought in the WBC belt.
Yes.
Is that a bit of a dig at?
Well, it's not really digging at
Or am I just
WBC.
reading into it?
It is, it's the same belt as Deontay Wilder. It says WBC World Champion. It's the same belt. Very different between me and Deontay Wilder is one stand for World Coward Championship. That's different. I'm the real WBC World. Fact of the matter is, I've beaten more top 10 and top 15 contenders than he had, and he's been the champion for many years, you know.
Fact.
And then it's just fact. Just the fact of the matter is, I'll fight anyone and he won't.
How are you dealing with? It's just a constant waiting game for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to.
I've asked you this before, but it just keeps going on and on. And
I think they're just trying to phase me out, and hopefully, I'll get demotivated, I'll get flat, and I'll just give up on it. But
is that going to happen?
No, I'm getting better. I'm improving because, as you guys can see in the last fight, I wasn't my best, but I was still able to beat someone who was in shape and a top contender. And I lost 1 round out of 10 rounds. I was still able to. That's so stubborn and not driven. I'm still able to graft out. You've seen fights where I've not been in shape before. I've had injuries and I graft out victories. I'm grinding, so I'm just adding different pieces and different things to my game. You've seen fights where I'm in shape and I'm sharp and in his fights. I've just been rough and just grinding them out. So I'm still learning,
What have you made, Barry, with the situation with the WBC?
You can tell when, if you haven't seen the interview, I'm gonna put the link down below in the description box. You can tell that that Barry really didn't want to say too much. But yeah, the biggest sticking point is, like, I like Deontay Wilder and all that, but the WBC is protecting him. I'm not saying protecting as in Dillian Whyte can beat him. I'm like, what the fuck? And I get it, the money. Money talks, bullshit walks. And, they even, Deontay Wilder even put a wrinkle in their plans because he like, nah, I don't want to be franchise champion. So it's like, it's no way, like, Deontay Wilder should not fight his mandatory in 2020. That does not make sense. I'm talking about, like, okay, well, here's the thing. If Deontay Wilder, they're fighting February the 22nd. Deontay Wilder can have another fight, if he was to have a 3-fight 2020, which he hasn't had a 3-fight year since 2015. Remember, there was some injuries in between 2015 and 2018 with the hand. So, and the arm, like, wasn't a bicep or some shit. If he fights in February, you might as well say that's the end of February. So that's pretty much March, February, 28 days or 29 if it's a leap year. I don't know if it's a leap year or not. Anyway, move on. He can fight sometime before the end of the summer and then fight like in December. Or a 3-fight, but I'm not holding out hope to see him versus Dillian Whyte in 2020. That's fucked up. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. The press conference, we're going to be here streaming the Wilder versus Fury 2 press conference. I'm just finding out about it. I've been off social media and all that shit, so I got to rely on email. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. We're going to be live streaming that press conference here on Monday. What's Monday? January the 13th. Then next week I'm going to be in the field. Actually, tonight I'm going to be in the field. January the 11th for the J-Rock. The Jesse Hart versus Joe Smith card. Try to get some intel on what's going on with Joshua versus Pulev from Bob Arum and some people over on Top Rank and whoever's supposed to be there because it's Top Rank's ESPN's first card of the year. Also next week at the PBC fight, maybe Ruiz might be in Philly. Who knows? It's their first fight of the year. So please subscribe.
Well, I understand the way the Wilder Fury fight finished. That had to be a rematch. The fact that it's dragged on so long, and with Dillian being how long have you been the number 1 contender for?
800 days.
It's
still is number 1.
Yeah, I know, but I think the most important part for you is psychologically is just put a full stop for the last, whatever it's been, all the stuff you've had going on. Just put a full stop under it.
Yes.
It's done and dusted now, and just move on from there. I think because physically you'll get into shape. That's easy.
Yeah, but mentally
you got to be careful. You don't hold that back up in your mind about I should be this far ahead. I should be here now, because otherwise that will hold you back, and mentally you won't be in the right place.